Hey smokers, Drago1 here. Today we're going to be doing a weird ass data transfer from a 2007 iMac to a 2012 Mac Mini. So my dad has been hanging on to this thing since probably early 2008, before the 2008 line came out. And it has intermittent shut-off issues, which has been plaguing the machine for, I don't know, years, and he's just been putting up with it. It's time for a change. So we need to transfer all of his data onto the 2012 Mac Mini right there so he can get a new start. Now, the 2012 Mac Mini is pretty nice, and as you can see, I have it all hooked up here, and it's ready to go. And of course, everybody knows the easiest way to transfer data from one Mac to another is to use FireWire Target Disk Mode, or in this case, Thunderbolt Target Disk Mode. But we have ourselves a little problem. So if you look at the back of the iMac, you'll see that there's a distinct lack of Thunderbolt. Obviously, there's no Thunderbolt here. Thunderbolt didn't start showing up on Macs until 2011. So the only way, if we want to really do this, is plug our FireWire 800 cable in there and dig around for an adapter so that we can plug into Thunderbolt. But oh wait, we're already using the Thunderbolt port for mini display port, because the monitor I'm using doesn't have HDMI. Well, I guess I could use my main monitor for the display, but it doesn't matter because I don't have a FireWire 800 to Thunderbolt adapter. So what are we gonna do? Plugging it back in would be a good start. Maybe untangling all this? What is going on? There. What? Did that take a whole day to do? Nope, we just forgot to turn the lights on. There you go. So here we have the FireWire 800 cable connected to the 2007 iMac. So we can't plug it into the 2012 Mac Mini because we don't have the adapter. That, of course, would have been the ultimate way to do it. So how are we going to do it this time? Well, some people will probably immediately say, well, you can do Ethernet, but doesn't that mean you have to use Migration Assistant? That's the baby way of doing it. We're going to do this the Drago1 way. And the Drago1 way means that we're going to use another computer, Mac Pro, which does have FireWire 800. And it just so happens that its front-facing FireWire port is within reach. And there we go. So, we gotta turn it on. Hold down the T key. And it is now a mountable volume. Panning over this way, we have the other computer, which has a matte screen entirely obscured by glare. And on this one, we have our 2006 Mac Pro, which is going to be our intermediary machine. How is this going to help us? Well, you'll see in a sec. We take a closer look, we see that not only that our display is scratched, but our FireWire mounted volume from his drive is right there from the iMac. So it's mounted over there. That's great. But now the Mac Mini needs to find it on the network. Every single one of these Macs is hooked up to the network, but only 2 of them are going to end up using it. Let's see how this works out. So now on to something I don't do very often, which is data transfers from a fresh installation of, in this case, Sierra. So we have to power this on or off. I think I just heard the XP notification bubble. Did you hear that? And we'll get in a few steps and see that we can transfer some data. Crap, I'm going to have to put his SSD into this too? God damn it! Holy shit, I can't see anything! I rarely have the issue where things are too bright. Holy shit. My heart just stopped. Okay, so this is the screen. This is the magical screen. We want to transfer from another computer. So now it's going to look for whatever the source is. Doesn't seem to be having a lot of luck, not right off the bat, because nothing's plugged in. So now we're going to try the Draga way. If that doesn't work, we'll have to do it the old boring migration assistant way. So the next way involves us moving back over to the Mac Pro. Now we have file sharing stuff going on here, and there are some shared folders. So if we share, this is FTP mode, I'm going to turn on AFP as well, and then let's go ahead and manually add his hard drive, which is now being shared over the network. And then we can sort of pray that it will somehow find this on the network. Can it be found on the network? I have no idea. The only way to know is to have another Mac plugged into the network, this one, to actually look and see if it shows up at all. Because this one is not in a position to do that right now. It's kind of tied up without an operating system set up yet. So, we're going to have to turn this one on to regular mode and not target disk mode, which will then break its link to this, making the test no longer work again. So, it's sort of a paradox. We would need a fourth Mac in the mix. That's right, we have 3 Macs on right now. Holy crap. So I'll go get my MacBook Pro. Oh, my MacBook Pro was sitting on this whole time. In a backpack. In my closet. That's great. And it's at 86% battery, and I haven't used this in about 2 months. That's not bad. Alright, so I'm getting a little crazy with these camera angles. But basically you can see that Macintosh HD and Macintosh HD 1 both show up on the network. So there's no problem there. I'm assuming Macintosh HD is the internal one, but either way, it's there. Shit. Well, I think it mounted. I think. Yeah, I actually did confirm this is actually his drive here, and you can see the files on it. Unfortunately, Mac Mini over there doesn't fucking see it. So that means we're just going to have to do an over the Ethernet transfer. And I'm told that those don't work too well. Usually they don't work too well, so let's see if we can do this the over the network Apple way. So this is going to mean no more FireWire 800, no more Mac Pro. We don't need either of those anymore because we're just going to use Ethernet from computer to computer. I would have been really stoked if that actually worked. But it didn't, so oh well. Now of course, since there's personal documents and stuff of my dad's on the computer on the left, probably going to be censoring out some stuff just because he didn't know this was going to be in a video and I didn't get his permission. So if you see some weird boxes on the screen, that's probably what it is. Okay, so as you can see, he's running Mavericks on his computer. So let's go ahead and launch up that... What is it? Migration Assistant, yes! And through the power of zooming in, I will have to do limited post-production. Okay. Oh, never mind. Oh. Okay, it just is like shutting down. I didn't tell it to like reformat the computer or anything, did I? What the fuck? Whoa! Hey! Now they both look almost the same. Wait a minute, that's not what I want to do. Hold on a second. How do you want to transfer your information to another Mac? That option was not available on the Mac Mini. This is like the most simple shit ever. Like, what the f... Alright, so, hey, we got something over here.
there it is.
And yes, it does say Ogre's iMac. He doesn't know about the meme, I promise. So we're just going to go ahead and click on it. And now there's a code on the screen, I guess, so that you don't have any unauthorized data transfers going on, which I think this would be very unlikely to have happen. You're supposed to enter it in, and it's the same code or something. Another Mac is requesting access to this Mac to transfer information from this Mac to make sure the same passcode is displayed on the other Mac, and then click continue. If the passcode doesn't match, click back. 193.962. Okay. I guess if there's some sort of conflict. But you can sort of, I do like how Apple sets this up, because on the top you can clearly see what you're doing. Migrate to another Mac and transfer information to this Mac. So there's not really a lot of doubt of what's going to happen. So the only computer also that gives us the continue button is the source computer. And that's it. It's already started. And it very clearly shows that we're going from here to there. And the new Mac doesn't even have a name because it's a fresh install. Over here, what do we have? What would you like to transfer from Ogre's iMac? Applications, yeah. Documents and data, yeah. No question there. Computer and network settings. Now this is something you pretty much want to have unchecked. There might be some mundane things or a system setting somewhere that may have gotten changed, but we're talking about a computer that has gone through conditions that I have no idea about. If some weird driver is hung up on there that's been in there for years that I don't know about, that somehow will conflict and slow down the computer later, I don't want to have to deal with that. So computer and network settings, leave that unchecked. Probably the best idea. It's going to get everything that is needed, applications and documents and data for the day-to-day. Anything else can be retweaked if absolutely necessary. And most of the time, it doesn't matter. Most people run on defaults anyway. Okay, so looks like the applications are going to be 2 gigs, documents and data isn't even going to be that bad. We'll click continue. And we're actually, and the cool thing is we're going to actually be doing this at speeds, since we're doing this over Ethernet. Now, our bottleneck here is going to be the hard disk in the 2007 iMac, because, oh man, it would be a lot easier if these were both at the same level. Because it's the oldest piece of crap, and, you know, the hard disk could fail while we're doing this, and then we'd be totally screwed. So let's just hope that doesn't happen, and this is its last performance as a storage medium. And right now I don't think it's even doing anything, it's just looking for stuff. So it looks like it's just going to do a lot of looking. It pretty much has to index the whole drive on the iMac before it can even proceed. So, while that's going on, I can talk a little bit about my perception of the Ethernet transfer. The first time I tried to do an Ethernet data transfer from one Mac to another, I'm trying to remember, I did do it. I just don't remember how I did it. Was it over the network? Because back in the day, I transferred information. I mean, it was more than 10 years ago the last time I actually did this. The last time I did it, I was going from a G4 Mac Mini to a 2006 Mac Pro. And I don't remember quite how I did it. Did I do Ethernet? Did I do FireWire? I don't remember doing FireWire. In fact, I don't think I had a FireWire cable to do that with. The only FireWire cable I had was the FireWire cable that came with the hard drive that went with this. This thing right here, this lacy external hard disk shit. This is the same one from back then. And the only FireWire cable it came with was this little shit right here, just to connect these two together. This is that same cable. Just go like that? That's actually pretty reasonable. But I don't remember doing that. Did I do it over Ethernet? Could it be that the macOS Tiger migration assistant gave me comprehensive enough instructions for me to do it myself over Ethernet? I have no idea. But for some reason I had this perception in my mind that the Ethernet file transfer was a pain in the ass, and for whatever reason Mac couldn't find the other computer on the network. Well, it worked fine for me, and I'm even using a switch. All the files are getting transferred through that. So this, you might argue that this adds a level of complexity to the network that could throw things off. But as you can see, it's working. It only says it's going to take an hour more. Well, that's pretty pathetic. 12 megabytes per second? I mean, I'm pretty sure I download games on Steam faster than that. But hey, it's definitely not bad. It's not good. Not Thunderbolt speeds. We could be going at Thunderbolt speeds, but again, we're bottlenecked by the hard disks. Screen just went off. Wait a minute, more than the screen went off. Wait a goddamn minute. Wait a minute. Shit! So yeah, remember that problem we were having with this computer? Oh! Gave me a bit of a scare there. I did that little shit scene because I moved the mouse and it didn't do anything. But very possibly this computer could shut off during this file transfer. And we could get fucked. And we'd have to do it all over again. And we'd have to reformat this. Ah, man, that'd be gnarly. Ugh. And now that one turned off. Okay. I mean, there's no reason they need to keep their displays on. They could shut them off. In fact, it's better if they shut the displays off on this one, because that'll probably heat it up and cause it to shut down. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that thing. It's probably got a little bad logic board or some crap. I don't even know. So we'll let it run and just pray. Alright, it's still going. And as you can see, it's picked up a little bit of steam here. We're up to 23 megabytes a second. And actually, I learned something today. You can actually take this window out of focus. I can't do it right now, but when I brought it up from sleep, the loading bar here was gray. And when I clicked on the window, it became blue again. I can't do it again for whatever reason, but apparently you can. There's some sort of window ordering going on there somewhere. So we're up to a higher speed. We're more than halfway. I feel like I haven't been waiting longer than 15 minutes. This is going pretty dang smooth. So we just got to wait a little bit longer and we'll be done. Okay, so I walked away for a while and I turned the lights out because it was bright. So I walked away for a little while and I need to turn the lights back on. That doesn't really matter since I'm looking at a screen that's already illuminated. But as you can see, when it finished, it didn't say that it finished. It just finished and went right to the login screen. So if we log in here, we'll of course have all this stuff on the screen, but the question is it all there? Holy shit! Well, while that's loading, what happened to this? Migration complete. Migration to your new Mac is complete. So yeah, it does have a finalization screen there. No such screen on the other one. It just dumps you right into that, which is not a big deal. That's what I wanted. A little slow, but oh well. And if we quit it on the other computer, it just goes back to the login screen. And now we're logging in. Doing a first time login, so it's probably got a lot of stuff to shuffle around. Or it's going to do that thing where it doesn't work. I was literally about to say, oh my god, this is a Draga video that actually worked. But it actually looks like it is. So now it's doing the first time setup of the Mac. It has the Mac which is currently being used, which is like a very symbolic thing there. And then we have Sierra's mountain range. It's very, very clear, very good picture there. And now there's a bunch of stuff on the screen, which is his personal information, which you probably will not be seeing right now, but it shows that the files are actually there. The desktop wallpaper is upgraded, but that's fine. It shows you that you're on a new operating system. So what we need to find out is make sure, and this is the most important part, whether or not all of his iTunes music came over. That's right, my dad is one of those people who imports all kinds of audio CDs in Apple lossless format. He picked the right format, but he spent a lot of man hours getting that done. So, what we need to do is we need to open the iTunes library and make sure that everything's there. Performance may be affected until completed, so if we run into any slowness, that's probably what it is. Well, I did a hell of a lot of scrolling, and there's a hell of a lot of Enya. Wouldn't have it any other way. So, I think we were successful here. Let's just make sure that it is in fact Apple lossless. MP3? 128 kilobits per second? What happened? That must have been one of the ones that I imported. Oh man, we got a whole iTunes library crisis on our hands. There's gotta be more songs in here that are Apple lossless. We just gotta find them. Oh yeah, everybody likes Josh Groban. Let's see what's going on here. And there we go, Apple lossless audio file. Looks like I found the right copy of this library. Alright, so how many songs is it? I don't know. Apple got rid of the little thing at the bottom that tells you how many songs is in the library. Can I figure it out on my own? Oh no, they didn't get rid of it. It's right on the bottom. You just have to turn it on. 3,725 songs. Seems a little low, but if you think about that this is all imported from CDs and realize that there's probably an average of 10 tracks per CD, he would need 300 imported CDs to do this. That roughly sounds like how many CDs he had. So that the math on that probably works out. Of course, he'll be getting this back pretty soon here, so he'll be able to determine whether or not all of his music made it over. So the reason I'm concerned is not that the data transfer didn't work. It's that I've been screwing him over for the longest time by being lazy and trying to figure out new data transfer opportunities. See, it was running out of storage on the iMac's internal drive. Yeah, this thing right here. And so I would offload his entire music library onto this to make more space, except I didn't really think how that would pan out for him in the long run. So eventually I transferred the music back from here onto there again, and it's entirely possible something got lost in the shuffle. So if there is any music that he needs, he can always go on this drive and dig through it. Not the best solution, but at least it's all in one place now. Thanks for watching. This has been Druaga1. I have to sing over this example of Apple lossless music playback, or YouTube will kick my ass and remove my monetization. The stakes are high now. You can't do fun shit on YouTube anymore. So I'll just say bye and thanks for watching.